Sandy is delightfully irreverent.
You know, Sandy is just a remarkably intelligent person who doesn't really let much get by him.
Dr. Schenk's personality has always been very flexible, very laid back.
And he really does instill the attitude of just no excuses and get it done.
He has such a good sense of humor, such a pleasant demeanor to work with, and such a respect for his residents, his staff, and all of his patients.
He really has a feel for doing the right thing, morally and ethically and professionally and so forth. He is for me an icon.
He walked into my office early one morning, and he was in his socks, no tie, and came in to ask me a question and was looking over my office to make sure that I decorated it correctly. And so it was fun. And that was my first introduction to Sandy, and ever since then I've thoroughly enjoyed being around him.
He sort of reminds me of The Apprentice sometimes, because his favorite line is that if you, to the residents, that if you screw this up, you're fired. You know?
The thing that I was warned about the most when I was going to be working for Dr. Schenk was, he's going to fire you. And I was like, for what? And they go, whatever.
And I had actually heard lore that Dr. Schenk fired residents on a fairly frequent basis, so I was really rather intimidated by the prospect of that.
Dr. Schenk has fired me, I would say, at least a handful of times, yes. It's always funny.
I get a lot of feedback that Dr. Schenk's a little bit different, but you know, he kind of scared me into thinking about the situation.
I distinctly remember one time I was about to go inside on a vessel when I should have gone outside, and he saw me move toward inside and goes, "Up, you're fired." And I said, "But sir, I didn't do it." And he said, "You were going to."
He's clearly a master surgeon. Those of us who don't do vascular surgery and the small anastomoses that he does would be challenged just with our normal hands. And to watch him perform surgery on these small anastomoses with very small sutures is very, very impressive.
Working with Dr. Schenk was quite impressive. You know, obviously he has his specific gloves because of his, his fingers, but his performance is outstanding. And the way he throws the suture makes you think, wow.
He really taught you how to keep up with the flow of the operation, how to handle more delicate operations, and just getting to work with him with fine-tuning your surgical skills was just a lot of fun.
He's one of the only people that I know that does his own preoperative imaging, and he really has a very clear idea in his own head what he wants to do when he gets to the operating room.
He can do a microvascular anastomosis better than anybody.
When the final scorecard is filled out on all of this, I think Sandy's scorecard will be as an excellent clinician who was not only really respected by his students and his colleagues, but was really admired and loved.
Knowing Dr. Schenk's story has really had an impact on me, because it's really allowed me to look at the bigger picture and to focus on the things at the end of the solutions at the end of the problem.
I believe Dr. Schenk will always be a great influence on this department.
I think when you look at Sandy's life and you look at all of his accomplishments and you look at the fact that he is so humble, so hardworking, never asks for any favors, never asks for any special dispensations. It's just an amazing celebration. It's an amazing example of the strength of the human spirit.
There are people here that I've worked with some of them since they were undergraduates. I watched them through medical school and surgical training and seen their careers develop. I'm seeing my students and my residents retire, but it makes me feel very proud of these people. And especially proud of Sandy Schenk.